Welcome to Coming Out of the Spiritual Closet with your host, me, Brittany Wittig. Join me every week to explore and demystify the world of modern spirituality. Do you have a big dream that you've been sitting on without taking action? I can relate. I used to have a long list of unrealized dreams. I often wondered if I was just too lazy or too easily distracted to live my dream life. What if I told you that it was not laziness or lack of willpower stopping me from pursuing my dreams? It was fear, hidden fear disguising itself as laziness and lack of willpower. Once I began working with my fear to cultivate courage, my life changed dramatically. Embracing my fear gave me the courage to quit my 9-to-5, sell my belongings, and travel the world full-time, write a professional travel blog, intuitively move through a cancer diagnosis and treatment, coming out on the other side of that experience thriving like never before, and create an online coaching business that allows me the freedom to work when and where I choose. Embracing your fear is the fastest way to step into your dreams. And in my signature online program, the Courageous Transformation Academy, I show you exactly how to embrace fear and create a solid foundation of courage that will allow you to step into your dreams over and over again for the rest of your life. The waitlist for the Courageous Transformation Academy is now open, and waitlisters will receive early access and special bonuses and discounts when enrollment opens. Head down to the show notes and join the waitlist today. I can't wait to see you there. Welcome back, everyone. So this week we are going to get into the shadow side of your business and how to work with the shadow side of your business. This is part 2. Part 1 of this 2-part series last week was about personal shadow work, what that is, how to do it, why it's important, how it's related to ego work. So if you didn't listen to last week's episode and you're not very familiar with shadow work, I highly recommend that you go back and listen to that so that you have the foundation you need to understand this week's episode. So this week, I want to talk about the shadow side of your business, or for anyone who is thinking about starting a business, this will apply because even if you're just thinking about starting an online business, you've likely already run into the shadow side of that business. And working with the shadow side of your business, just like working with your personal shadow, is so freaking powerful. I just recently started working with the shadow of my business just in the last few months, and it has been incredible what it has done for me and for my business. Think of your business as having its own spirit. Think of it as a being in and of itself. That's the easiest way to go about this. And just like in personal shadow work, there are processes or parts of your business, very likely, that you are uncomfortable with, that you avoid thinking about, that you avoid looking at. Now, why would you avoid looking at certain parts of your business? So just like in personal shadow work, there may be something in your business that your ego has deemed bad or wrong, or a part of your business that your ego has decided will lead to rejection or judgment by others. And so your ego is protecting you from that piece of your business by avoiding it. The way that you're going to notice this, you may find that when you think about a certain part of your business, a certain process in your business, your brain immediately changes the subject. You may already know a part of your business that you avoid, even as I'm talking right now. It may be that your brain immediately changes the subject when you think about it. It may be a part of your business that you avoid talking about in your marketing. So I'm going to share a big example that I just went through in my own business. I just completely recreated the sales page for my signature program, the Courageous Transformation Academy. And in creating this sales page,
I ran into the shadow of my business. So there's a part of the sales page that I wanted to include where I break down the individual price that I would charge for each component of the program if I were selling it individually. You've probably seen this on other sales pages out in the world. And I kept avoiding that. I wouldn't let myself think about it. Every time it popped into my head, I thought about something else. And finally, I realized I'm really avoiding this. I need to figure out what is going on. There's clearly some shadow here because I'm in major avoidance. So I sat with it. I journaled. And I realized that I had decided that that part of my sales page was wrong, and I'm using air quotes, or bad, or would lead to rejection. And then I decided, okay, I want to figure out the gift in this shadow piece of my business. What is actually the gift in this part of the sales page, this thing that I had rejected in my business? And I realized that there is a very serious light side to that piece of my sales page. First of all, when you really are in integrity with your products, when you are really creating and selling something that has the power to do exactly what you say it has the power to do, then selling is not sleazy. It actually becomes a service to the people who are ready for that product, for whatever it is that you are offering, the people who have a problem that you are going to help them solve. And I realized that the gift in that specific part of my sales page was that I was accurately valuing the immense amount of time and effort and expertise it took me to create each component of my program. It took years and years of learning and experimenting to gain the expertise, and it took over 6 months to actually create the program. That's a lot of time and effort and work, and there's a lot of value in that. And so I realized that's the gift in this part of the sales page, is it actually allows me to share with people who are interested in the program the true value of each element of the program. And as you can imagine, as soon as I realized that, it completely shifted the way that I felt about creating this piece of my sales page. It was like, oh my gosh, okay, this is totally in integrity. This is absolutely relaying true value, and it's helping the right people who are ready to have their problems solved in this way to understand what they'll be getting in the program. So I think that sales and selling are likely in the shadow of many, many businesses. So many of us have been conditioned to believe that selling is sleazy. And some of the reason for that is because a lot of us have had the experience of being sold to in a sleazy way. So here's the thing. I suspect, I have a theory, that when someone is using unethical sales tactics, that they likely are not working with the shadow of their business. They're probably also not doing their own personal shadow work, but they're definitely not working with the shadow of their business. When you don't work with your shadow, just like I talked about last week, your ego hides it from you, and then it comes out in toxic ways because you're unconscious of it. You don't see the ways that it's expressing itself because your ego is hiding it from you. And I think this can be true in business too. I think that sometimes people don't realize that the tactics that they're using are unethical because they're avoiding sales altogether in their business because sales has become part of the shadow of their business. An example of this, if you are a coach, a mentor, a guide, anything like that in the online space, you may have had this particular sales tactic used on you. I've received this one many, many times. So you get a message, a DM in your Instagram that says, hey, are you accepting new clients? And of course, you assume that someone is asking this question because they potentially want to hire you. If you're a newer coach, this probably causes your nervous system to get a little bit activated because it's exciting, but it's also scary because it's new, so it might make you nervous. So you say, yes, I am accepting new clients. And then this person sends over this pitch about the amazing process that they're offering, and you can get it at this price, but only if you decide to grab it right now. And this is what will get you all the clients, but you have to grab it right now, right this second. This is such a predatory sales tactic, because what they're doing is they're activating your nervous system. When your nervous system is activated, you can't actually make clear decisions because of the chemical response that's happening in your body. You don't think as clearly, so it's hard to make decisions. And then they're asking you to make a quick, pressured decision. So I firmly believe that anyone who has examined the shadow of their business would not be using this sales tactic. I think that people who are employing this type of tactic are not allowing themselves to actually look at their business's shadow, to actually look at what scares them about sales. So I challenge you this week, if you are wanting to start a business, or if you have just started a business, or maybe you're, roaring ahead with a business, I challenge you to think about what area of your business you are avoiding, you're not looking at. I think another really common one here is the accounting or financials of a business. I think that's often an area of our business that parts of that fall into the shadow of our business. But I challenge you to ask yourself, what am I avoiding in my business? And then ask yourself why you might be avoiding this. What might you believe about this area of your business that is causing your ego to avoid it? And then once you've figured that out, ask yourself the question, what is the gift in this area of my service? What is the light side of this? And just like in last week's episode, this could feel really uncomfortable. So take the time to do a nervous system calming activity. In last week's episode, we talked about stimulating the vagus nerve while deep breathing. You can go check out that exercise in last week's episode. Another really simple vagus nerve stimulating activity is hopping into a cold shower, or chanting or singing. Both stimulate the vagus nerve, and stimulating the vagus nerve basically just resets your nervous system. So it helps bring your nervous system down when it's been activated. So just remember to do that when you're asking yourself these questions, because it is challenging for your ego, your subconscious, and your nervous system to do this work. It's challenging, but it's extremely worthwhile. All right. Thank you so much for joining. And again, I just want to thank everyone for the reviews, for sharing, for following the podcast. And right now I am offering a little mini one-card reading to anyone who leaves a review of the podcast, takes a screenshot, and DMs me that screenshot through Instagram. So leave a review, screenshot it, send it to me on Instagram. My Instagram is in the show notes just below the episode, and I'll send you a little mini one-card reading. All right, thank you so much. Have a beautiful week.